All right, this is my personal opinion on how I think you can become a better runner, and not a run coach. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Been running for about 2 years. I would like to think I know what I'm talking about, but, just take it with a grain of salt. Just my opinion. We need to first establish what I believe are the 5 pillars of running. Volume and consistency, speed work, weightlifting, rest and recovery, and nutrition. These are the 5 pillars of running. I completely just made this up myself. I tried to think of different pillars and, how to incorporate them, but I think it really just boils down to these broader 5 topics. And then I have to establish who am I trying to give advice to. So first we're going to go over if you want to become a better endurance runner, say you want to train for a 50-mile race or a 100-mile race or Leadville, maybe one of those weekends where they do a lot of races, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and you want to do all of them. It's almost like a long distance event. So your focuses are going to be different than, say, somebody who wants to run a faster 5K. If you take a look at the graph that I'm showcasing, a lot of the benefits that you're going to reap, I believe, are going to be more mileage and more consistency. I can't remember who said it, but you're training for a 100-mile race. Well, let's just say a 50-mile race because it's a lot easier. A lot of the more elitist runners will be running at weekly mileage that is actually double the distance of that race. So their weekly mileage may be 90 to 100 weeks, or 90 to 100 miles a week for that said 50-mile. Or close to it. Maybe not perfect, but the consistency and the volume helps them so much for these races. It's almost like seeing, if you can run double the distance in a week, you could do that in a day, kind of dumbed down version of it. So you're going to be more focused on the volume and consistency. Multiple weeks, months of this longer training is what's going to help you further, I believe. I just think that it's, you're not going to be worried about speed work as much. You're probably not going to be lifting, but I hope that it would be. But some, Courtney DeWalter, no offense, she doesn't look like she lifts, but there are some runners that do. One thing that they haven't, ultra runners they look different, but one thing they have in common is typically they're all running longer miles. Typically, some of these trail runners, they have weird nutrition. Courtney can have pizza 1 mile 6 and then never eat a gel. It just kind of depends on who you are as a runner. So I kind of put rest and recovery about the same, mainly because nutrition is very key to keep going in a long distance race, and you may not be able to recover as much as you really want to versus someone who's doing speed work or trying to train for a 5K. So that takes me to key points I think you should focus on if you're trying to get faster in a mile, 5K. It's very basic information, but some people just kind of need to be told this, I guess. If you really want to get faster, you can get faster with less volume. If your distance, I would say, is under a 2 mile, maybe even a 5K, I fully believe that if you focused on true speed work and rest and recovery, making sure that your body can handle all these workouts, maybe helping lifting weights, because lifting weights is going to help you get there as well. It's going to minimize the percent of injury that you could have. If you did speed work, I bet you could get faster with a 5K by running less than 25 miles a week. I truly believe that. And I honestly believe too that if you're new to running, that would be my goal for you. If you're brand new to running, I would rather you get faster in your first 6 weeks rather than trying to train to run a marathon in 12 weeks. I just think that you'll benefit more by getting faster, mainly because if you're able to get faster in your 5K, say your 5K is 40 minutes and then you can take your 5K from 40 minutes to 32 minutes. When you do decide to train for that half marathon distance, 50K distance, whatever it is, you're going to be spending less time running, which gives you more time to focus on the other pillars that I'm talking about. The people that are out, running 20 miles as their peak week, they're running for almost 4 hours. They're in time total, they may spend 5 hours running. And I think that's just so hard on your body. So if instead of you're running your average paces 13-minute miles, and if you were able to get your average paces to 11-minute miles, if you run 10 miles, that's 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes less that you'd have to spend out on your feet. A lot of these injuries that are gonna occur are overuse injuries. Your ankles are gonna, the tendons in your ankles and all this other stuff, like they're gonna give out just because you're overusing. So I typically do not like to run longer than 3 hours because that's just what I've seen. It's what I've heard. I cannot stress it enough. If you're new to running, I would only want to get faster, not as like an ego thing, just because I think it's gonna help you in the long run. The less time you spend running and like the faster your zone 2 is, you can run further in less amount of time. You can focus on what you really need to do. And I think a lot of it is recovery. If you're able to recover efficiently, safely, it's all about time. Money is time. Training is time. It's my little rant for today. I think you just need to get faster. If you're curious on how to get faster and you want to know, a good place to start is I created a playlist of all the training videos that I did for my 5-minute mile. Maybe I can make another video for you guys. But yeah, have a good one. That's all I got. It's my rant for the day. Peace.